used to love me like a sister. You used to hold me like a friend. We used to share a master bed. And we used to
Get this started, sis. By the way, sis, Grand Rising, how are you this rising,
I'm doing
sis?
wonderful. How are you doing?
I am well. Like I said, I'm a little sleepy, but we gonna do this thing. We gonna do this thing. It feels good over here. It's not that cold over here. I'm just naturally a chilly person, but it's not that cold here. The sun is actually coming out a little bit, kind of giving that, that fall wintry type of vibe, but spring a little bit, but not just yet. It's like Mother Nature said, "Oh, not yet, not yet. Y'all ain't ready, not yet." But I'll give you a little taste. It's kind of like that.
I heard it's been warm.
Yeah, yeah. It's been a couple times I've been outside, and I'm wearing shorts, and I done sweated a few times.
Well,
Okay.
they wear shorts around here, but it's not my type of. It's not my short weather.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, I wouldn't either, sis. In the cold, no, that's not for me. You know what? I can do this. I can wear, if it's cool, I can let my arms out, I can let my legs out, but I have to pick one or the other. It can't be both out because I don't like that. Because my feet be the coldest thing in the world. Like that would be the first thing that gets so cold, and I do not like that.
That's because that's where it robs the extremities first before, because the core has to stay warm. Everything that needs to stay warm is in our core area.
I sure sis. Yeah, and I definitely have anemia on top of that too. So
I'm just a cold-natured person. I like for it to be warm outside.
I'm
And
sun baby. Yeah, get out there. I said we sun babies. Get out there and be in the sun
yeah,
like this. You
yeah.
know, I don't care how hot it is outside. I'm gonna get outside. I'm gonna get
But
outside.
cold, no, I'm not hanging out there. Not at all.
Oh no, no sis, no sis. I look at it. I look at it from the window.
Mm,
From the window. I don't
yeah.
have snow like you, sis, but I'll look at it from the window before we
So
start.
we haven't had any snow for a minute. The last time it snowed, it only snowed twice. Now there's still snowbanks out there that haven't melted yet, but they look like dirt now, so it don't matter.
And I finished my dragon collection, as you can
Oh,
see.
nice.
So I'm gonna give you guys a model. So this is the back ones here are like the full body versions of these, and each of them are in elements. Stack them on top right there. These are I'm always proud of what I do. But
Of course, you should be.
and yeah, here we are. So the top will be the Dragon of Fire. Here is, and this is Agnes. This is Celeste here, Dragon of Spirit. On the side we have Talela. Yes, Dragon of the water element. Down here we have Makani, Dragon of Air, and this one here is my girl Tavani. Not Tavani. Can't remember my baby's name. Oh my goodness, I am sleepy though. But this is the Dragon of Earth, and this is my dragon collection. I was working on here, and they got a little weight to them. Got a little weight to them. So right now, the next thing I want to do with these is make. You know how I did the commercial or video for these. I
Yes.
want to do the same for these, and I have an idea, but I gotta figure out how to do it. Have you ever learned how to scratch? Like with the music, like have you ever?
So in my household, we weren't scratching albums, and I wasn't a DJ, so no.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, it's an idea that I have where it's a song that I want to use, and I gotta scratch it, yeah, and do that there. But I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna figure that out. But that's one of my crafts that I was working on, and I don't know. I'm just rocking and rolling with the full body views to see if I really like, if I want to go back to the drawing board, and redo these. But so far, I like what they turned out to be.
Right.
Other than that, Sistar, that's it for this rising and everything. So yes, that's all.
It was nice.
Thank
It was
you,
really nice.
thank you.
Yes. What
Girl,
else are you working on?
oh, a lot more candles. They in the back though. I'm not ready to show those just yet.
Okay.
That Virgo in me be in there like, nah, girl, we ain't doing that. But I did show you my business card that I, redid the other day. So I did do that. Other stuff is more so on the computer, like my website, doing digital art for my candles, doing digital art for Conscious Talk and stuff like that, and doing some research for other stuff for me to do, like do events and stuff outside of this. So that's what we've been working on. Very, very productive and active here. So
Very good.
that's exactly what I've been
The
doing.
2 weeks that we've taken our break, that's what you've been doing?
I've been doing that for the 2 weeks. We've been taking our break as well as, networking with new people and like-minded people like myself, seeing if I want to collaborate with them later on, if not. And, when you meet new people, there are people you have to leave behind. So there were a lot of things I had to leave behind, a lot of people I had to leave behind, but all of it is for the best and out of love. And basically just using this quiet time to allow myself to have that creative flow to come out and flourish. Like we were saying yesterday, all the energy that we once had given out is now coming back. And
Right.
I was saying, like I was saying, I'm pregnant with lots of creative ideas and I'm allowing them to flow. I know not all of them I'm not doing right now because it's not time. Oh, excuse me. It's not time for me to do it right now, but I have thought, write it down, make a note, do a draft, save it for when the time is right. So it's me keeping an organization because it's so many creative ideas I have, sis. What about yourself?
Well, like I said, the break, chilled, relaxed, um, gave space for my spirit, gave space for, um, just spirit, just being able to understand what this year means for me
Very much
and
so.
where I'm going, what I'm going to do, and what's going to happen for this year. So that's just where I've been.
And you can definitely feel the shift. You can definitely see the changes, the shift within yourself as well as the collective. You can see all of that around. If you actually, open your mind to it. I know a lot of people don't pay attention to that. I can only speak for those of us who actually do, but you can see and feel it. Or
Definitely divine timing. I mean, it's time if people didn't believe before, if they want to see, then this is the best time to see the creator move.
very much so.
But it will also show you which side of the fence you're on, if you're tottering the fence, where your mental is, those types of things. I mean, I don't know. This is a very dynamic time, and for anybody that wants to see, it is revealing itself, definitely.
Most definitely, it is. It definitely is. It definitely is. And I do remember we talked about, kids being a gift and everything. And my daughter is definitely a big mirror for me to see. Like when I look at her, I can see the energy that I was in when I had her. And it's like, okay, this is a mirror of me. There are some aspects of me where I've already, let it go and stuff like that. Now I'm teaching my daughter, hey, this is how you cope with this. This how I'm telling you how to do meditation, how to do breath work, teaching her that type of stuff. But then there's other stuff where she'll show me like, oh, I can't even get mad at you. I can't even get mad at you because that's some stuff that I would do right there. And then I take a note of that. And I was like, if I don't want her to do that, or I don't want her to walk that path, I need to fix it within myself.
Right.
And that's a big responsibility. I do feel a lot of parents, and I say a lot because I've seen it's a lot of us who don't take accountability for that. And we talked about how some people don't know how to do that, but right now it is the best time to do that as well. That's part of watching the creator, well, seeing the creator do what the creator does.
Yeah, and I mean, and not just that, everybody's moving in their own path. There's a wake up call for everybody when it's time for it to come.
Mhm.
And although we have been in our process, it might not be time for them. And only they will know, only,
True,
yeah,
true.
only they will know when. And sometimes it's not meant. Sometimes it's meant for them to do this in multiple cycles.
True, but I just want to put out there, if it's not meant for them in the moment, just think about it. Whatever you put out there, it comes back. You can't be mad. I learned that head on. Like, I can't be mad at how I reacted to something or how my daughter reacts to something if I've done it too. Like, I can't be mad like that. I
No,
have to walk that.
you shouldn't be mad. You
Yeah,
can fix it in her and fix it within yourself. I think
eventually.
I I think
Myself.
how people go about doing it is, if you see something in your child that you don't like, go ahead and fix it in them in a way that you would have wanted your parents to fix it in you. And then find it in yourself to fix it in yourself. Problem is that most people don't see other people as their mirrors. They see them as other people.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
but if somebody's coming at you energetically in a way that would trigger you, because most people use the word trigger. I think last year the word trigger was the biggest word ever.
it was
Oh,
used
you
a lot
triggered me.
heavy. Yeah, it was used heavy a lot.
Yes,
A lot.
yes. Triggers is something for you to fix. So if somebody triggered you, that's the question: is how come they were able to control my emotions to
Mm,
that fact
yeah.
of the matter? Because once a person has control over your emotions, they have control over you, your thought process, and everything.
You just gave them the keys to your spaceship, sis. That's basically it. But you had said something.
Everything.
You had just said something, golly. Oh, you said how people see other people as other people. Um, they haven't quite seen yet that we're all one, interconnected in a way. Yes, we have our own individuality, but in some way we're also still interconnected. And I know a lot have not grasped that concept yet. But hey, it'll come when
Might
it
not
comes.
ever be time in this lifetime. They
Yeah,
might have to
that's
do it
like
next
it'll
life.
come when it does. So, and that's the beauty of being on this side. I love being on the left hand path. I really do.
I would like to, I'm not going to say I don't like being over here. I love being over here. I would like for the people who want to be over here to be able to have the access to the information that it is that they need to be able to move over there. But it's not always as cut and dry as us telling you to take accountability when, if you don't know what accountability looks like. Or if you don't know what taking accountability looks like, it's pulling yourself apart. Just saying that, yes, I made a decision. This is the reason why I made the decision. I either had the lack of knowledge, the lack of understanding. I didn't have anybody to teach me those types of things.
Yeah.
And then just going from there. But I'm not going to say that it's an easy process,
Oh,
because
no.
if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But it's enough of us now that are doing it to be able to give. And it's not even getting people to do it. It's getting the vibration out there,
Yeah.
so that they have the vibration in them, and coming into contact with the right people will just give you the healing understanding that you need. So some people won't even have to do and take the steps that we did. They will be able to come into contact with somebody that will be able to help them access that without even talking.
Yeah. Everybody's journey will be different.
Yeah, I mean, if we're all connected and we're talking about spirit and we're talking about being all connected, once there's enough of us that's already done it, the others that weren't the ones that were to do it, if we're talking a number, they say 144,000, right?
Yeah.
So if 144,000 people have already raised their vibration to that level of understanding, then the rest will just follow suit.
Yep. Most
Yeah.
it's the ants go marching one by one, hurrah. I don't know why that was in my head. That was in my head. When I get sleepy, I get little show tuney-ish. You're like, girl, lay your head down and go to sleep. I get like that. So I just gotta sing myself to sleep sometime if I ever get a little too sleepy, but I'm naturally goofy anyway. So that's what my cousin and I was talking about earlier. And I was telling him, I said, hey, you remember that time when we were kids? When we was in the car with our grandmother. It was him, my sister, and my other cousin in the backseat. I'm in the passenger side. My grandma's over here. And I do this thing. I do it all the time. I still do it to this day. Where I'll say something to me and I will laugh out loud. And I just it could look like somebody was actually talking to me, telling the joke. And my grandmother looked over, and the facial expression she made was like, what the fuck is wrong with her? Like, she done lost her marbles. It was just the facial expression she made that made me laugh even harder, because I was really just over there laughing at myself. And I do that a lot. Do you ever do that, sis, where you just laugh at yourself randomly out loud or anything like that?
I might laugh at a thought that's in my head or something like that, but just laughing at myself,
with myself, I say not with. Go ahead, sis, sorry.
Yeah, I'll laugh at thoughts that roll across my head, especially if I had a thought that was funny from something that came up, but that's about it.
I do answer myself if she talked to me now, and I have no problem with that. That makes me unique. So
I think everybody should answer themselves. If you're talking to yourself and you're asking a question, the best time to get the answer is when you answer yourself, because you're not in your conscious mind. You're in your subconscious mind. So
I was watching a podcast where the gentleman was mentioning that a lot of people who have more more of a connection with themselves or have a more positive mindset are those who talk to themselves and they speak to themselves versus those who don't. And I was going to ask you, what do you think about that, sis? I know we ain't no doctors or anything, but this is just all our own opinion.
I think it depends on where your Mercury sits. Will depend on if you talk to yourself out loud or in your head. Just knowing the difference is the person.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. Back in the day, they used to say talking to yourself made you crazy or meant you was crazy. I think that we put ourselves in a box for too long to say that I need to be like everybody else that's around me. I already know I'm not like everybody else. Mm-hmm. Just the way I think, the way I configure sentences, the way I talk, the things that I see, the things that happen around me. I know I'm not like everybody else in my physical, although in my spirit form, we are all the same. Mm-hmm. I don't put myself in those boxes. I allow myself to be who I am. If I talk to myself, I talk to myself. I'm okay with it.
Very much so, sis. Very much so. You shouldn't want to put yourself in a box. Who want to do that? Ew.
We've done it for so long, though. Society says that we're supposed to live in these boxes with these triangles on the tops, and we live that way. Society says that you're supposed to do this, that, and the other, and we do this, that, and the other. And until we decide that this isn't working for me, we beat ourselves up because it's not working. Why isn't it working if it's working for everybody else? But what people don't know is it's not working for everybody else. They're having the same struggles and the same torment that you're having because life is not cookie cutter, but society says it is.
Not at all, sis. So I don't celebrate New Year's, and I noticed my neighbors, they would. The last few years that I've been here, it's been a lot of fireworks popping and stuff like that. But I noticed something different this year. It was maybe one or two fireworks here, and then it was like, we're going to bed. And so when you brought that up, I thought of that, and it was like everybody, probably feeling it. They probably know, this ain't for us. Like, we got to do our own thing.
So like we spoke about, I don't celebrate.
Yeah.
But if somebody invites me over to eat and congregate with them, I definitely will.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm partaking into the understanding of this, that, and the other. It's I'm breaking bread with people that I care about, I like, or and they like me. So fireworks, I'm always out there for them. I'm the person that will shoot fireworks. If I could shoot them 365 days out of the year, I definitely would. I love fireworks. I would
be out there watching you do it too. Yes.
Yeah. I think we get caught up. I think in the spiritual understanding, we get caught up in what we celebrate and what we don't celebrate, what we do and what we don't do. I will tell people that I will come over. Mm-hmm. I will fulfill or fill in a joyous occasion with you, for the simple fact is that we're humans and we're partaking of time to spend together. Now, if you're giving presents, you already know I'm not giving presents. I'm not bringing, because if I don't know you like that, I'm not just going to pick up something just to bring it. I don't feel like a pomp and circumstance is something that needs to be done when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
Most people do. They feel like I'm supposed to go out and I'm supposed to buy all this stuff and I'm supposed to give all year round, and you won't have to give for one day.
I've seen some people do that too, sis, but they still, celebrate Christmas. But again, that's totally what they want to do. And that was one of the many things I sat with myself one day and I was like, yeah, we should be celebrating ourselves every day, not just one day out of the year. And plus, we always do. I'm always giving love. I'm not finna go get gifts or presents or something like that. My love for you, me being here with you, that is my gift at times, because times is different for everyone, and sometimes love is all a person can give you, and you should be grateful.
I don't think, if you want to do what you want to do, then I'm cool with it. If you're giving presents and I'm not giving presents, then my presence should be enough. But I'm not shy. I'm not shy about what it is. I understand that people celebrate things for different reasons. They give gifts for different reasons, and they have an understanding that I may not have an understanding too. And I'm cool with that. I'm okay with them doing what it is they do, as long as they're okay with what I do.
Now, I will say this is, if I feel it in my heart, it doesn't have to be a special occasion. If I feel it in my heart that I want to give, I will do that. That's something that I do. And it doesn't have to be a special occasion. Oh, here you go. Because I do know, so this new group of young ladies that I did the coloring and the sip with the other day, I had some pyramid candles and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna give them some candles and whatnot, and just me doing that, it was like, oh my God, thank you. I don't get anything and stuff like that, and I do know sometimes it do feel good to be thought about. So that was the mindset. Yeah,
giving from the heart is the best way to give. Giving from obligation is just that. You're giving because you feel obligated to do it. It's always going to be about the intention. And the only person who can understand that intention is the person that's making the giving, that's doing the giving, or whatever it is that has to be done. It's always the intent.
Very much
so. As long as, if they're celebrating Christmas and they're giving from the heart because that's what they feel that they're doing, then by all means give.
Yeah.
But if you're giving out of obligation, then maybe you should sit back and ask yourself, why do I feel like I have to give during this time, especially if it's not for me to do it right now. And most of the time people feel obligated to do things because everybody else is doing it.
Would you call that societal pressure, aka peer pressure?
No, I wouldn't. I would say that it's what we've all done because we don't know that we can move in our own understanding. I wouldn't put a specific name on it, because I don't think that everybody does it just because society does it or because of peer pressure. This is something that some people could just think it's rude. If everybody else is giving gifts and I don't give it, this could be rude, or I could be perceived as rude. Once again, it's It's them being worried about what the outside is thinking versus what they feel they need to do. And so I will explain to people, this is not really my time to give gifts. And maybe I don't want to give gifts to everybody that's here.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Definitely true. Like
Now,
my
why do I need to explain why I don't want to partake in some of the festivities? We can eat, I'll bring some food, we can break bread, because I think everybody should eat. You see what I'm saying? Especially during these times where some people could be depressed because of whatever it is that went on in their past, you know, and they're holding on to things. We hold safe space for people, make sure they're eating, make sure that they're, you know, that they're well. I think well-being and making sure people is doing good is more important than making sure that they have some material knickknack that's gonna be used today, maybe for tomorrow, and then 2-3 months down the road it's sitting somewhere and they're thinking, well, I don't need this anymore, but I'm gonna hold on to it because no. Now, the material things are the things that I don't think most people think about. You don't need them. You really don't.
It's true. You're definitely right. They're just tools in the moment. That's use it until it's time to let it go.
I mean, and then think about it. You complain about not having money. They complain about, you know, how prices are going up and this and that and other. But then you're out and you're feeding all that money right back into the people who's raising the prices and doing all these things. And instead of circulating the money within your community, you go back into these large groups of companies that they don't have the best intentions. And if they did, some of the stuff that's coming out or that has come out, you know, last year, the end of last year, the middle of last year, the beginning of last year, all these negative things that these people are doing, and they have all this money, and we're just putting the money back into their pockets instead of saying, you know, instead of me putting the money back in your pocket, I'm going to circulate this around my community.
That would be the smart thing to do.
Of course. I mean, because think about it, if we learn to take care of our communities more, we wouldn't have to worry about not eating.
That's true.
We wouldn't have to worry about our necessities being taken care of.
Very much so. I like what you said last Rising, when you would go into certain neighborhoods and you see all the mess and everything else, and you was like, we don't have to live like that. We don't, you know. I remember visiting some people that would live in those areas, and I would ask, you know, why don't you guys do that and do that? Oh, the trash man do this, the trash man doing the job that pays him. He's coming to pick up the trash and go. He's not finna go in the yard and pick up your trash. He's not finna, you know, get all the graffiti out. He's not finna do all of that.
We were in an age of where it wasn't my job to make sure the area, as long as around my area is clean, I don't need to police up everybody's area. But if we start understanding that the area that we live in is also our area and everybody else's area, if we all took the time, not just one person, because there's usually one person who will go out there and try to pick up a little bit here and a little bit there. If it was all of us, then we wouldn't have to worry about our low-income communities looking low-brow and being people turning their noses up saying, ooh, why is it dirty? Why does it smell? Why does this? Why does that? Why does the other? If everybody did their part. That's the problem. Nobody wants to
do their part,
take responsibility or do their part. If one person throws trash, it gives me the permission to throw trash too. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. People don't understand spitting on the ground. You see what I'm saying? You talk about the communities and the cities being nasty and trashy and infested with disease. Why? Because if one person has a cold and they hawk up their stuff and they spit it out on the ground, think about liquids and what happens. That's evaporation. So when the sun hits it, it's going to dry up, it's going to evaporate, and it puts it right back out into the atmosphere. If we took time to take more pride in our personal and also what is around us as people, we wouldn't have to live like, in certain areas, wouldn't have to look nasty.
Not at
Oh,
all.
I didn't do that. No, you didn't do it. But when you see somebody else do it, say, hey man, this is our area. In order for us to be viewed as intellects,
Come on now. Come on now.
then why would we not act like intellects? It brings me to the point of something had came to me over the 2 weeks where I said we want to give ourselves these big titles. King, queen, goddess, gods, all these big amplified labels we want to put on ourselves. But we don't want to carry ourselves that way. We don't speak as intellects. We don't read like intellects. We don't give our knowledge like intellects.
That reading part is a big one.
Yes, consciousness is always giving us information. Whether we take it or not, that's one thing. But if you're going to give yourself this big dynamic name, you got to walk in that presence.
Very much so.
You see? And so that's why right now, I actually have been building a course to help people to start carrying themselves in these big gregarious names that they give themselves. Because if you're going to say you're doing this, then you can't just do it on one side. This is a full-sided thing.
Yep.
It's got to be on all realms.
Yeah.
If somebody comes at you in a low vibrational area or a low vibrational way, then if you already know your shadow side, you can shake hands with your shadow side and tell them, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But me and my shadow aren't going in that direction. I'm not going to pull myself in a low vibrational area, bring myself down just so I can stoop to your level because I can. I know better.
Very much so, sis. Very much so.
Yeah, those are some things that I have been working on.
I love that though, but it's needed though. It's needed because, like we discussed, there's a lot of people who don't know how to read, and we still need to learn, and with the etiquette of walking and talking like the intellect that we are. Now, I'm not saying the stuff is gonna happen overnight, but you put in the work and just let it.
You shouldn't want it to happen overnight.
You say what, sis?
You shouldn't want it to happen overnight.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it's the journey
that matters.
That will give you the most success, but not only that, you'll be more grateful if you took a slower route than if it was just handed to you overnight. You wouldn't be grateful for it.
So I showed this to sis, and I'm showing you guys as well. It's 2 different business cards. Okay, these are my business cards, and it goes with what she's saying right now. So as you can see, this is my first business card. It was rushed. I didn't take my time or nothing like that, but this is the actual card that I do love the most. I took my time. It wasn't rushed. And I believe with this one here, I know with this one here, the goal was to get to this, but I was so eager for this, I rushed it. I didn't take my time. When doing this, I enjoyed the in-between of getting this done. I enjoyed seeing the progression of it come to life. And then when I was like, okay, I'm done. Now I just got to order it and wait. And then it got here and I was like, oh my God. And when I tell you, I looked at it, I was like in tears of gratitude. Gratitude because I was like, I knew that I could do this the first time, but I believe I needed to rush the first time so I can show myself this is what happens when you don't allow yourself to experience the journey, the in-between. This is what it looks like when you do allow yourself to walk that journey, to enjoy the in-between. You get the beautiful result that you've seen in your head and you bring it to life. So I just thought I'd share that because that's a beautiful thing to look at.
The interesting thing about those cards is it'll change again.
It will. It definitely will. It definitely, most definitely will.
Again, we're forever evolving. We're forever changing. So the first one was the you that you were when you made it.
Yep.
The second one is the you that you are now.
Yep.
The third one will be the you that you are then.
Mhm.
We're not ever consistently staying the same unless we force ourselves not to change. And that looks like fear.
Very much so. Very much so. And that is one of the biggest things that be in people's way. You gotta get out of your own way.
Yeah, but you got to know where you're in your way at. So you just got to sit down and you got to find it.
I mean, I feel like folks know. This is just my personal opinion. I feel like we know. Just some of us, like we said, sis, we don't know how to take accountability or don't want to, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
But what about the ones who don't have the planetary placements that tell them they're supposed to know?
That's their journey. I mean, like I said, that was my own personal
No.
opinion.
I understand
So,
what I'm
yeah.
bringing up, that there might be somebody who's watching this and they're like, I truly don't know. And what I would tell that person is I get it. And maybe it's not your time to know right now. But if you take the time to sit with yourself, because you're probably a person who's always sitting in somebody else's energy. You're probably a person whose energy is wide open everywhere and you're pulling in other people's energy. Or you could be somebody who's well defined and you don't want anything at all. That's okay. But you have to come to that conclusion for yourself.
Very much so. You most definitely do. With those, I had a thought. I was like, well, how would one, if they were to ask me or you, how would I start? How would I know to take accountability? How would I know to get out my own way? I can only say for me, there were some things I know that I'm really fucking good at. But I was like, what is it that stopping me from getting where I want to be? This is them. I don't have this mindset anymore. It was the fear. It was a lot of fear of many, many things. And the big thing was success. Fear of success. And I told myself, why would you be scared of success? It's your success. You deserve it. Like, why are you fearful of that? And I had to break that down. And I was like, this is where I need to get out of my own way so that I can elevate to where I want to be. That was how I was able to get out of my own way and have accountability. And like I said earlier, my daughter is my mirror. Partners that I had in the past were mirrors for me. Hell, I can say something out of the way, sis, and I'd be like, oh, Southern, you ain't have to say that mess. Now you could have said something else. Now, why did you say that? Why did you do this? And I was like, yeah, you're right. I could have did that. I have moments like that, but I've always been that way when I would talk to myself. Not girl, come on, girl. You could have. I've always been that way, but I didn't realize it was a term for it. But now I do it in a more balanced and aligned way, because sometimes some stuff need to be said. Okay, sometimes stuff need to be said, and there were times where stuff needed to be said and I didn't say it, and it would weigh on me. So I had to learn the balance of when something needs to be said and when something didn't need to be said. That was just for my own astrological makeup in general. So I would say start there if my advice helps.
I would tell them to conquer the first fear that came to mind that they know that they could have succeeded at, but they told themselves they can't because the thought stopped them somewhere. Because that's where it starts. As soon as we tell ourselves we can't do something, you put a noose around your neck that stops you from being able to do it, and then you won't do it. And then you'll say you can't do something else, and you put in because it's going to be hard, or it's going to be complicated, or it's going to be difficult, or I can't sit for that long. So then when you start making those excuses, start conquering those excuses. And once you start conquering that fear in those excuses that you're making for yourself, you start to shed and you start to let those nooses around your neck go. Because what people don't understand is that once you set the ball going in one direction, unless you stop it and bring it back, it's going to keep going down that I can't do it. If it's for money or for I can't read or logic or understanding or whatever it is, force yourself to break the habit of that, whatever it is.
And it don't have to be long periods of time either. Do it in increments.
No, every day do something different. Work towards it. I was reading this book years ago that says set yourself a large goal and work towards it once, a little bit every day.
That's true.
Don't stop yourself. Don't tell yourself you can't do it. If it's money, then ask out, how do I get around the money situation, or how do I get the money to do this? And then most people can cut out Starbucks. That'll be a can't. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Most
You
people
just
say
don't want
cut out.
to. That's all it is.
I can't cut out my Netflix or my Hulu or my. Yes, you can.
I would cut that shit off in a
Yes,
heartbeat.
you can. You can cut these things out if you want to save a little bit more money so that you can excel in certain areas. There are always things that we can do to level ourselves up.
Very much
What
so.
we don't want to do is we don't want to sit down and take the time to figure it out. We want somebody to hand it to us. But what Sis
Yeah.
did for herself to get on the path that she's on was what she was supposed to do.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean that I could take that same path and get there.
Nope.
It means that I
Yours is
had
gonna
to
look
find
different.
myself a different way.
Yep, it's gonna look different. Very much
Yes.
so.
And then of course meditation. I'm always gonna put meditation in there because it opens up so many doorways for you to be able to clear the mind and be able to sit longer. Be able
I've
to
heard people say, I can't meditate. It was you have to practice. You have
So
to.
look, I've got a Gemini rising and a whole bunch of Aquarius. I've got energy that used to be scattered
Oh,
around
yeah, y'all.
and the mind that used to click like this. If I
Yeah.
could sit and find some time for meditation, even if it's 5 seconds, I will do it.
Get out of my head, sis. I had the number 5 in my head. Get out of there.
For
Get-
the simple fact is that I was the same person who said I can't do this. I would sit down and try, no. Mine, I had monkey brain. Mine would just be scattered and this and that and other. And one day I said, you know what, I can do this. I can sit here. You're telling me not to do anything. I don't have to do nothing. I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing with my eyes closed.
all of
Okay,
that.
I'm gonna do nothing and sit here. And I just let whatever it did go.
So,
And it would beat me up sometimes because I want to move and itch and scratch and this and that and other. And then one day I woke up and my mind was clear.
very much so. I found for me, sis, I love meditation. I love doing breath work. I also love to do chakra yoga for the chakras and stuff. So I would do it before I meditate. I like to get my body, very loose and relaxed and stuff. I love to do that. Then I sit down and do my 5-minute breath work and just flow into meditation. Y'all don't have to do that. That's just my little regimen. But I find that I love to do that because when I'm doing my stretchings, I'm allowing my mind to just calm down, be in my body right now. What is that term where you I forgot what it's called, but you're like doing this thing where you're like checking your body, you're focusing on a certain body part and I love to do that as well to get my mind ready for everything, but usually I can just sit down and just go.
So for me, breath work just came into it.
Yeah.
When my meditation elevated, the breath just did what it needed to do and I allowed it to do it. My body, I'm very in tune with my body. So any body scanning that's being done, I do that throughout the day anyways. A lot of the terminology that people will use to say do this, do that, do the other, I don't feel anything should be forced.
Yeah, you should
I
follow
don't
it.
feel like anything, when it's time to happen, I'll gather the knowledge. So I've listened to all these different things. And when it's time for it to do it, I allow my spirit to take over and do it.
Very much.
And so therefore, nope, I don't do yoga. But I like that you do. Because there are people who do need to have more movement. Me, I'm a more mental person. So because I'm more mental, everything I do is always up here.
And that's one of my interests too as well, being a yogi and a Reiki healer and stuff like that. It's part of I was wondering why my screen was dark. It's part
you're a yogi now?
I said that's one of the journeys that I'm taking. I'm studying and stuff like that because I find the deeper that I go into what it is that I love to do, I'm finding avenues that I was like, I actually love this right here. And I was like, oh, this is a part of my purpose. So let me do this. And, reading astrology, being into that and reading it as a Virgo moon, I saw we're going to be in the holistic stuff. We're going to be one to come out. So it would be natural for me not well for me to be a part of that, so it wouldn't be something I would not want to do. So
Right.
I do it. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, I like that for you. Like I said, everything for me is very mental.
Oh yeah, you're all air. All air.
It's very intellectual. It's very mind stimulating, and I feel like that's everything that I need.
Yeah.
I know that if I read something and it resonates with me, I'll see it happen. So I don't try no more. There's no trying. That's a word that I have discontinued in my life. Can't and try are two words that I don't use anymore.
Just do.
Can't means that I'm cutting myself off from it, and trying means that I haven't started. So if I haven't started, I'm not doing. So yeah, I like it.
I do too, sis. I love that, and I love that you have what it is that works for you. I have what it is that I work for myself, and I was telling my daughter, because she said, "Mommy, I'm trying to do it like you," and I was like, "You're not gonna do it like mommy. Mommy just teaching you the basics, getting you to understand the concept." But make this your own. I've watched several meditation videos, and I would see everybody have their own different way of breathing. Me, I have my own way. What works for me, works for me. However, old dude on the screen, old girl on the screen said to do it, it doesn't work for me. It only works the way that I do it, and that's one of the many things that I want others to understand. Make it your own, because you're not going to be like, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be like you. But grasp the
Aquarius for
concept.
me to want people to be like me.
What you say, sis?
I said I'm too Aquarius for me to want people to be like me. I want them to be themselves.
Most definitely.
I really don't need you to be like me, but what I do want is I want everybody to be able to find a happy place for themselves.
Very much so.
Yeah, in their own understanding. But don't be like me.
Please don't. Ew.
Yeah,
You're not going to want to be like me. You're going to swear I'm boring. Well, I love you.
Duplicates. And I like the fact that they can be themselves, but pick up some of the things that, some of the information that I have to put out there, because there's a lot of knowledge and a lot of information stuck up here. And I'm not always the easiest person to understand. With the Mercury and Aquarius, it's everybody doesn't jive with the way we speak.
I just think when your Mercury ain't in the same zodiac in general, you're not gonna.
Well, the logic could be indifferent.
Yeah.
I'm understanding of that, because most people don't have their sun and their Mercury in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, in any of my human designs, I think I only have maybe 2 or 3 people who have their Mercury and their sun in the same place versus, and I think I have like 100 and some people in my human design. So I think I've only seen 2.
Mm-hmm. And
so,
if you don't, guys, just know there's nothing bad about that. You just have to understand how to understand you, so that you can understand how to articulate when you communicate with others. So that's just basically it.
Well, and then sometimes people whose Mercury sit in the sun, they can already see it. They can tell.
Yeah.
You can see it. I had my daughter come to me and she said, I talk to different people, and she was like, sometimes it seems like they're not grasping. And I said, it sounds like their Mercury and their sun are in different places. If you have a Mercury that's retrograded, you have to speak to them differently. I haven't seen anybody yet that I've seen with the Mercury retrograde, but I don't think I paid too much attention to it if I'm looking at their human design. But you can tell, because the way they think and the way they speak are a little bit different. And it almost seemed like a person like me would be arguing with them when I'm just trying to get them to explain, what do you mean? Because the sentence that you made before with the sentence that came behind it, those two don't really, I'm not computing what you're saying. And or I'll sit back and I'll question it later to try to make it make sense to me later instead of doing it right then and there. But I've come across a lot of people who have Mercury different from their sun sign. Yeah.
With that, I do have my Mercury and my sun sign in different places, and what helped me to understand me, again, doing the inner work, far as taking accountability, sitting with self, talking to self. What is it that you really want, self? What is it that you really, really having those conversations with self? Like when I say I talk to myself, Capricorn.
Okay.
So I talk to myself. Capricorn, Mercury, but Aquarius sun. So we got to get on the same page, Aquarius, Capricorn. I know we different, but where we at right here? Let's be on the same page so that we can make sense within ourselves. If we don't make sense within ourselves, how the hell am I supposed to tell somebody else what it is I'm trying to say?
So it's not that you're not going to make sense to yourself. You're going to always make sense to yourself.
Well, there has been times, sis, where I was very indecisive.
That's everybody. So
yeah, but I'm talking about for myself, though. There were times.
What I'm trying to clear up for the community is, if your sun and your Mercury sit in different places, doesn't mean that you're going to be in conflict with yourself.
Not all the time, no.
No, it just means that when you speak to the masses or when you speak to other people, you're going to think one way and speak another. You're going to think like your Mercury, it could get jumbled, or the message could be missed somewhere or something like that. But it doesn't mean that you're going to be in conflict with yourself.
Don't clear it up.
I don't want people to think that, oh man, my Mercury sits in.
No, I said that because I actually have two different signs, and I felt that way at one point a few times, and I was like,
different signs in your Mercury and your sun.
Yeah, at one point I did.
I have two daughters that are like that, but
I felt that way at one point. So it was.
Yeah, I would tell people, if you find that your Mercury and your sun, look it up. Look it up, but it doesn't mean you're going to be in conflict with yourself. Look it up. It'll give you more understanding to yourself. Talking about so look up what your Mercury means and where it sets, and what it says about your Mercury, which is your thought process. And then look at your sun and see what that means, because the sun is just the ego, and how it's going to affect you in those two places. It doesn't mean that you're going to be in conflict with yourself. It just means that you might be misunderstood when you speak to other people.
And that has happened a lot.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm not explaining this to you. I'm just explaining it to those that are like, well, I don't know, and then they go back and they say, okay. So I've had many instances with people that I do know that have their Mercury sitting in one place and their sun sign sitting in another. You see it most in arguments, because the argument doesn't stay in the same place. It starts to move around. They don't stick with just one subject. It's another subject, another subject, another subject, another subject, another subject.
Okay.
Or they'll bring up something that has nothing to do with the situation, but to them it does, because in that situation right there, these two make sense to me for this situation. Yeah.
It could have been that last straw that broke the camel's back too, sis. I don't know.
Case in point, I had a little confrontation with somebody that I do know that it wasn't really a confrontation. It was supposed to be
like a disagreement.
It was supposed to be a discussion.
Okay.
And they brought up something that had nothing to do with what we were discussing right then and there.
Okay.
But to them it did.
Okay.
And so I had to stop them and say that has nothing to do with this. And they wanted to blow up about it, and kind of get kind of get agitated about it because to them it had a lot to do with the subject. And I said, calm down, slow down.
Was this, did you ask them, be like, why, or, why did they feel that it had something to do with the
I
subject?
already knew. So I knew
Okay.
that this person's Mercury and their sun sign didn't sit. And I have their full birth chart and their human design. So I knew, and it dawned on me right then, Mercury, Sun, different places. So to them, it has some type of reference, but for me, it has none because I'm sticking to the topic right at hand. And so I kind of giggled. They couldn't see me. I was on the phone. I kind of giggled and just said, I get it, and went on about my business. My daughter brought it to my attention as to how she was talking to somebody, and she was like, what they were saying just didn't make sense to what was going on. They weren't sticking to the subject at hand. And as she was explaining to me her situation, I told her, I said, that's because the Mercury and the Sun are not sitting in the same place. So if they feel like they're not being heard because they said something that was off, the ego is going to step in.
Yeah.
And I said, that's fine. I mean, you just overlook it.
And that's why I always encourage, please ask me clarifying questions. I don't mind to be asked, hey, well, what do you mean by that? And I'll tell you, I can be long-winded because I love to talk, especially if I really like you and I got a good connection with you. I love to talk. I explain it because I can at times. I'll be talking and I was like, well, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, okay. Okay, well, at first you lost me. At first I was like, I tend to do that sometimes, baby. I'll have a thought, and sometimes since I'll have a thought, it'll resonate a little bit because you might have said one word out of that whole sentence, and I had a thought, and I was like, yeah. Now I'm laughing at myself. Let me not say at. I'm laughing with myself in that moment, and you're like, how does that resonate? And I was like, well, I thought of this and this and this. It's like a downward rabbit hole, but it makes sense to me. That's all that matters to me. So,
and that's what I want them to know, that it will make sense to you, but it may not make sense to everybody around you. Some people are going to ask questions and clarify me. If it's a subject that I really want to talk about and it seems like somebody went off, then I may ask questions, but it's
other
only
than that, it's like, okay.
Yeah, if not, I'm just be like, okay, I get it. Can I look at your birth chart? Let's see. But most of the time, I'm so used to running into people whose Sun and Mercury don't line up, which is funny because Mercury travels so close to the Sun. And like I said, I just made it. My Aquarius sign sits at 15-degree Aquarius. My Mercury sign sits at 0 Aquarius. Had I been born maybe a minute sooner, I would have had a Capricorn Mercury instead of an Aquarius Mercury. But I also feel that I was supposed, no, I don't even feel, I know, because I'm already here and it's already done. I know I was supposed to have a Mercury in Aquarius, and I understand what Mercury in Aquarius is and what it means. And to have a Mercury in Aquarius with an Aquarius sun sign is, to me, I like it. I enjoy it. I partake in all parts of it. If I didn't, I'm pretty sure I would have still liked it and enjoyed it.
Of course, you would, because it would be you. It would be your unique makeup. You gotta love who you are.
That's what people need to learn first. Learn to love yourself. Learn to go through your planets and understand yourself. Learn to understand that maybe sometimes I don't make sense to some people.
And I know I don't, and I don't give a damn.
Yeah, and that if they question me, I just have to be able to answer. And if you can't answer, you can say, hey, look, I don't know why I said that. It was just something that popped up and popped out.
Well, sis, sometimes I say because I want to. That's just,
and you have the right, and you can say that. I said it because it felt like it was the right thing to say at the time. And if a person's Mercury and they'll look at you and be like, oh, okay, or they won't. But who's for you is going to be for you, and who's not is not. But for you, you should be for yourself at all times. So if there's any point in your life where you're selling yourself short because of the need for validation or to be understood or this or that or the other. Like I tell people all the time, when I speak truth. And I know that a lot of times that people don't want to hear the truth. They want to hear the sugar-coated version of what it is. I came to speak the truth. I'm going to speak the truth to you, and that's going to be it. If you don't like it, then you don't have to take it. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
If you get mad at me because I struck a nerve, then you get mad. I'm okay with that too. If you feel like you got to pull away, then pull away. You're doing me a favor. You're not hurting me.
I mean, you guys probably weren't even meant to have a reaction that long anyway. Some reactions might be 5 seconds, some might be 5 years.
There you go. Am I a mirror for people? Definitely. I will mirror you all day long. And a lot of people don't like it. My sister told me the other day, she said, you mirror people. And she said, and when you mirror people, I think you mirror the deepest parts of people that they don't want to see. And I said, I'm okay with that. She said, but that's why they get mad at you. And I said, and I'm okay with that too, because I'm allowing myself to be able to walk away from them and say, you don't need me no more. If I shine the mirror on you and you see it and you don't like it, you walk away or I walk away, then you still got to see what you needed to fix.
Very much so. I've had experiences like that. I ain't gonna dive deep in mine, but you know, I know as an Aquarius sun sign, that is part of our job.
Yes, we're karmic. If an Aquarius comes into your life, there's a reason. There's definitely a reason. There's never just it's not just oh well. There's definitely a reason. But I feel that way for everybody. If somebody comes into your life, there's something that they're supposed to give you. Something you're supposed to give to them, or something both of you all are supposed to take away.
I feel that for both parties. Just it really depends. Where are you at on your journey? Because a lot of people take some stuff personally, and I get it. You haven't tapped into that deep aspects. Like we were saying earlier, a lot of folks don't know how to take accountability. You ruffle their feathers when you mirror them because they were supposed to have their feathers ruffled, so they know that's what they need to work on. But they don't know that because all they know is that you mirrored them and you ruffled their feathers. But long story short, you did what you were supposed to do.
I've been doing it my whole life and had no clue until until I got the understanding. And then once I had the understanding, I was like, okay,
I love this.
I'm not going to change nobody. I'm going to change me, for my needs,
supposed to be doing
for my perspectives and my point of view. But for me to change me for somebody else, I've done enough of that in my past. I won't allow it to happen anymore. So
now,
no.
Let me ask you this. Have you, because you haven't really mentioned it, and you know, you don't have to if you don't want to. Have you ever had someone mirror for you where you say, that's an aspect of me that I need to look at?
So I didn't pick it up like that. It's funny because I'm always in it, even before my spiritual journey, even in my religious journey, I've always seen what I did that I could fix. So I've always been what they consider now the observer.
Okay.
So I've always chastised myself.
Okay.
And I still do this to this day. If I do something and I sit back and I'm like, I could have handled that different. I could have did this different. I shouldn't have done that. I've always been the observer on the outside watching my actions. So can I say I've seen somebody mirror me? Not so much.
Okay.
But I do know that I've mirrored other people because when they tell me who I am, you know how people be like, girl, you used to do this, or you was this person, or you was like that, and you was the other. And I would sit back and I'd be like, that's not me. And then I look up and I'd be like, oh, okay. I didn't know what it was at the time. But when it came to me, it was like, okay, they're telling me that I'm them. I'm not. I didn't do what you did. You was the one doing that. I've had this happen with family members where they would project, or what I thought was projection. You was this, you was that, you was the other. And I would sit back and I'd be like, no, because... And I would definitely go through with a fine-tooth comb, and start going back and trying to remember, or not trying, but actually remembering. And no, that's not me, but I do remember that you did that. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it out loud because I'm not a person to really point fingers back unless I really have to. Yeah. But I would just sit back and be like, they're describing themselves. They're not describing me. Yeah. And so then that's when I came into spirituality and they was talking about mirrors. Um, but for somebody to tell me that I was a mirror that's not really on this journey, I realized that maybe I've mirrored them to themselves and they was able to understand it at that time. So I'm never butthurt about it.
Oh yeah, I mean you shouldn't be. I mean you shouldn't be. We all here for the experience, and once you understand that, you'll have a better grasp of how to move your way. And basically, you'll have a better grasp of how to move your way. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I feel like too, once people have given enough of their power away and they see that whatever they've been doing doesn't work, they'll change it. Uh, I've decided that my power is not going to be given to other people. I have control over who I am and what I do and how I do it, and I'm okay with that. I used to beat myself up. I'm not going to do this because of this and that and the other. You should do this. Be a giver, and I'm still a giver in certain areas. I'm just not giving my power.
It's a balance to that too as well. You got to have a balance of giving and taking and stuff like that. So I definitely understand. I used to beat myself up a lot too, sis. So it was a lot of, I'm not doing that no more. Why am I beating myself up? This issue ain't even my issue. Like that's their problem. I'm not responsible for them. That's not my responsibility. That was your experience to have. Now I'm gonna let you have your experience. Let you do how you need to do to get through your own experience on your own journey. I'm gonna be over here, and I'm going to focus on what it is that I'm supposed to be doing in my own little world. Yeah, I feel like when you work on yourself and you start having that divine inner love and you get your power back and all that type of stuff, that stuff exudes out. People see it. You start to glow, this brightest glow. This lady told me one time, you just got the smile that lights up the room. Oh my God, darling, you just so cute. I was like, well, thank you. I said, this is an everyday thing. This is an everything thing. So it's beautiful over here when you have that balance within yourself, when you have your own power, when you're not giving and doing all of this, overexerting yourself for others, and finally say, I'm doing it for me because I want to do it for me. That's a very beautiful feeling, very rewarding to me as well too.
Yes, take care of yourself first. Even if you have a family, kids, husband, this or that other, pour into them what you're learning for yourself, so that they can start to understand how to do it for themselves.
Yep.
If you're a single person, then right now is a great time to be single, for the simple fact is that you can not only find yourself, but you can find what you like, move out of somebody else's shadow, find your own understanding, move in your own essence. If it doesn't resonate for you, if it doesn't feel right, then don't do it. No matter what it is.
Oh yeah.
Learn to be able to understand what resonates, what that feels like, and then be able to partake in what resonates for you, what makes you happy. Find your joy and your happiness in the little things in life that you like to do. Might have been things you did as a kid. Find those, pick those back up and do it again. And if there's still joy in it, keep doing it. If there's no joy in it, then set it down and find your joy someplace else.
Yeah, do something new, creative every day. Even like you said, sis, even if you reading a book and it's one sentence or one page, or you meditating for 5 seconds, it's something different. Teach yourself.
Or be creative in your life. It doesn't mean that you have to pick up. I want everybody to read, so that's something that's very imperative. But you don't have to find a hobby. You don't have to find, something that keeps your hands busy. Be creative in your thought process in your life. Mm-hmm. And see, the more creative you are in your thought process in life, then you'll start to see that stuff start to come into fruition into the 3D world. Do that, if anything. You don't have to just be a person that has a whole bunch of things. Oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do the other. If you're in the hustle and bustle of life where you're working 10, 12 hours a day, even 8 hours a day, and then you got to come home and cook, and you got to take care of your family and stuff. Learn how to be more creative in your thought process for your life and start to see that come through. Even if it's just saying all the lights today are going to be green when I start to drive on the road, or
I actually
I'm
done
going
that
to,
before.
I have to,
And it happened.
or that the parking space that I want today is going to be open for me, or you know, or just those types of things, little things. I'm gonna find a penny on the ground and I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna keep it, or you know, those little bitty things are things that will start to show you that things happen in life because you want them to happen and they happen up here first. And if you still, for some reason, because everybody wants it to be overnight,
Yeah.
sit and look at your chair, sit and look at your chair and think to yourself, how did the first person who created the chair come up with that idea when nobody else had it?
And it wasn't overnight.
You see
It
what I'm
wasn't
saying?
overnight.
It just dropped into their head. Where did it drop into their head from?
Very peaceful.
Ethers, the
Yeah.
cosmos, consciousness. So therefore, if they could get, if the wheel, everybody says, you know, the wheel, when they invented the wheel, where did it come from? When man created and found that he could create fire, where did that understanding come from? It dropped into his head from some unknown source, which we now call consciousness. And now all of a sudden, I got an idea. If we rub these two sticks together, if we clap these rocks together, we're going to get fire, and that's going to keep us warm.
Mm-hmm.
If they can do it, we can do it too. Not everything has been discovered. So give yourself the understanding of, if they could figure out how to keep themselves warm when there was no fire, just, you know, and all they seen was maybe lightning striking something and causing fire, and then somewhere they figured out how to create fire, you can figure out how to make your life do what you want.
You most definitely can, sis. I.e., I still have no AC. Okay, no central air, no heat. So if it's cold outside, it's cold as heck in here. I had to. I sat with myself, and I didn't have to do this, but it was a thought that came to me. And I was like, when I was young, we didn't have central air and heat. We didn't have all this. We didn't. So it was like, I'm not even tripping over it. And I guess it came from a thought that I had where I heard other people, oh, I couldn't do with it without AC. And I was like, when I was young, we didn't have AC. So I found a way to get warm. I found a way to make it work. I don't need that necessity. It's a luxury. I don't need it. I found a way to keep warm. So it's ways to do it. And then of course my light bill has been low. Okay. I love that. Okay. More money in my pocket. Come on now, sis. Who winning here? Me or them?
Right. You're right. I need people to just learn to be more creative in their lives.
Yes.
More creative.
Have fun.
More understanding. And don't look for overnight.
Remember, enjoy the journey in between, man. It's worth the journey.
No time.
At all. Time isn't a actual thing, actually.
It's man-made. Everything on this earth is man-made.
All of that. So you putting that time limit on yourself, to me also is another noose that you put on yourself. You allow time to stop you or limit you from where it is that you gotta go. It's timeless. Okay, just enjoy the ride.
I do understand that there are time limits on your rent being paid, and there's time limits on you being to work and these types of things. I understand that, but what I am saying is that when you're looking for progress in your life, it's not a rat race. You're not up against what other people are doing, what they've created, and what they have right now. It's all in your time and what you want and what you've created. And if you sit back and you ask yourself questions about what it is you want, and don't be impatient with when it comes, and just know that it's already here.
Yes.
You're just waiting for it to be in a 3D format, but it's already
down. That's all it is. Pulling it down.
Yeah. And when you line up with what it is that you want and what it is that you want to see in your life, it'll start happening.
Most definitely. Sis, you remember the story I told you yesterday? What we were discussing. I said the moment I stopped worrying about money and just started working on myself, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, but this, the moment I stopped doing the worrying about finances and stuff and just working on myself and exuding that love from within outward, it started to attract and gravitate to me, where I'm like, oh, okay, I really don't have to do anything but just sit here and be me. I went out and put some action into the stuff. Yes, I put the action into the attraction, but still it was something that I love to do. It wasn't forced, it wasn't timed or nothing like that. It just flowed like it was supposed to, and it just came.
But most people would be like, how do you start worrying about money? I'm going to tell you.
It
Cut out some of the necessities in your life that you don't need. You need a roof over your head to keep you from the elements, okay? That's a necessity until we find better ways of living in structures that don't cost an arm and a leg. You need a roof over your head. That's a necessity. But if you're spending money on things that are not necessities, some of the things that are considered luxuries, you don't need those. You can cut them out. Start cutting out some of the unnecessary bull crap that's there, and start pulling back what you know, even if it's $2 today, $2 tomorrow, $2 the next day. If you work a 4 or 8 hour job, you can Uber, you can Lyft if you have those needs.
Those, I definitely do those.
So you do still have to put some type of action behind what it is. Make more conscious decisions on your spending. Don't overspend. Don't jump into something that you already know that right now you can afford it, but tomorrow you can't. Don't jump into, buying overly excessive things that aren't needed. When I talk about my money journey, there was a time I've had buku money, and I spent it all in a blink of an eye. And then I got to a point where I didn't have any money. And so I needed, and I was holding the wrong end of the stick. So then when I got more money, I started to learn, we don't need this. This is not important. I could live without that. I don't need that right now. Yeah. Maybe it's something that I really want, but it's not a necessity at this point in time. Yeah. So this is when I would tell people, use those one time a year to give to yourself something that you really wanted and you sacrificed all year. Maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's Christmas, but if it's Christmas, it's for you. It's not for everybody else, it's for you. Maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's just some random day in the year where you saved up this much money and I want to spend a portion of it on something that I really want to give myself for the year. And I enjoyed having that. If you go out to eat 5 times a week, learn to cook, learn to buy your food. If buying food at the grocery store is becoming too much, learn to grow your food. Start educating yourself on these things now. As you start to educate yourself on these different things, then you'll start to see that some of the necessities we were brought up with are not necessities that we really need. They're actual luxuries. And those luxuries can be cut out because you can live without them. So start there.
Most definitely.
Stressing over money is not, stop putting the money back into his pocket and put it back into yours. Like I said, circulating it around the community. $1, giving it to somebody who's out there that really needs it. When you start giving to spirit gives back to you.
And sometimes plus more. And you're like, hey.
And then also remembering that being grateful every day, giving gratitude over gratitude. I say give gratitude until your emotions move. Baby. I say that because you're telling the universe that you are grateful for everything that it has already provided you with. And if you can't find anything that you're grateful for because all the material things that you want aren't surrounding you, at least be grateful that you can breathe.
Very much
At least be grateful that your heart is still pumping.
that you can
At
walk
least be grateful
all
that you can do some of the things that
Yep.
some people can't do every day, that you woke up this morning. Find gratitude in those things when you can't find gratitude in anything else. And give thanks every day for an abundance amount of time. I tell people at least 100 times. Say thank you at least 100 times. There's also some breath work that goes into it, but I'm not going into that. But just be grateful until your emotions move. And you'll see that consciousness, spirit will start to shine the light on you. If you're asking for money and you need it because you did something different with that money and you didn't do what you were supposed to with that money, or you overspent somewhere and you're in a wanting, worry type area, like when it's going to come, you're holding the wrong end of the stick and the money can't come to you because you're actually pushing it away.
That's a moment right there where you should definitely self-reflect. Okay, I need this experience in this moment. Okay, I'm having this experience. I've had it before. Why do I keep going through this experience? Where do I keep tripping up where this experience occurred? That helps out a lot. And when you see it, you have the power to control it, and then you will start seeing you'll definitely move differently. You'll attract more money. You'll attract more anything, really,
Attract the thing that it is that you want. You just have to wait to see it come. And it comes in so many different forms.
Very much so. Wealth comes in many forms. Knowledge,
It really does.
beauty,
It really does.
essence.
I don't really ask for money anymore. Not much that I have asked for. I've said what I wanted, but I've learned to command. I don't really ask for much of anything. I command, and then I wait to see it happen. I'm not in the please give me. I'm in the I want. I want this. I want this, I want this, I want this, and I'll wait. When it comes, it comes. I'm not in a rush for it right now, because what am I in a rush for? The more you rush timing, the more you rush your life.
That, and you slow down what it is that you want to, sis.
Not only are you slowing it down, but you're rushing your death date. It's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet. Why ain't it here yet? You're rushing your death date. So why be in a rush in life when you can slow down the whole situation and enjoy what's going on around you? We're always in such a rush for these material objects to be right in our forefront. We don't realize that we're rushing everything. You're rushing time, you're rushing life, you're rushing everything, because in order for it to hurry up and get to you, it's gotta hurry up and run around, and you're rushing the whole concept of life. And then you look up and you get it, and you're not even happy to have it. Now you have everything you want, but you're still not happy in your life. And now you're saying, man, I'm too old, or I'm too this, or I'm too that, or I'm too the other. You rush too much of your life. Enjoy every second.
All of it. Like we said, enjoy the journey, man. Enjoy the journey.
At the end of the day, life is only a few minutes.
All of that, sis. I love that you said that, because the gentleman, I watch a lot of conscious podcasts and stuff like that. So this gentleman mentioned that, he was manifesting something. And when he got it, he was like, now that I got it, I'm just like, I don't really want it now. And he said, I found the journey to getting this manifestation was what really was the exciting part. That's the part where he enjoyed the most. Hence what I said about my business card, the journey of, creating it, going through it, and then seeing the masterpiece at the end. And I'm just like, that's it.
I understand it. I've been there so many times. It's not even funny. I don't share too much of my life.
And that's another thing. I stopped doing a lot of sharing. I used to do that too. So
from my past, my journey getting here, I haven't shared too much of that, but I have created so many things, and in the process of creating them, I've learned a lot about myself. But being an observer, it's just one of those things where it's like, I've seen that. But now, like I was telling my daughter today, I love my life. I love the way it looks right now. I love it. I enjoy it. I'm in a new place. There are some, oh yeah, I did tell her I was going to bring this up, but I'll bring it up in a minute.
Okay.
I'm in a new place and I'm getting acclimated to it. I noticed that before I would be somebody who would say I didn't like some place because it didn't line up to everything that I was used to. What I'm saying now is that I do like it here. It's enjoyable. I found things that I do enjoy about this place. But
except for the speed limit, sis, right? Except for the speed limit.
well, we're going to get into that in a few minutes. But finding joy where you are right now is the most important thing that you can do to move your life forward and transform what's going on. So instead of always complaining about the things that you don't have, find the joy in the things that you do have now. So what I told my daughter I was going to talk to you all about today. I love you guys in Maryland, but y'all's driving skills and them Teslas that y'all think are driving themselves.
Oh my goodness.
Are going to be the reason why I get out my car and actually turn into a demon. Because there's nothing grateful about a person on the road that's trying to keep from getting hit. It's like a war zone on these roads around here sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong. Some days when I'm not just jumping in my car, starting it up and getting on the road, because I do drive a lot. I have the time to say today is going to be a good day to drive. But then you have these people who just want to do whatever. And I'm sitting here, so I'm a driver that I follow the rules in some areas. I break one rule, but I use my signals. I make sure that I can do certain things before I actually do them. I'm very conscious behind the wheel, very conscious behind the wheel. But this is the most unconscious place to drive because these people are not conscious when they drive. And I said, yes, I was going to put it out because I have driven from across country multiple times. I have driven in so many different states, and yes, each state has their quirks. But when I say this place right here, everybody's still trying to get their hours to get their full license because that's how they drive. Like they are driving on permits and didn't nobody teach them how to read.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
And that's the honest truth.
Oh my God. Hey, I love it. It's thank you for the heads up, you know?
It's true, because when I get in my car, I program myself. You should remember they're all getting their hours. And when I drive like that, it's great.
It's great, yeah.
Because I already have in my head, this person next to me, they don't know what they're doing. This person in front of me, they don't know what they're doing.
You know what, sis, while you talking, I'm hearing Rihanna's head in my head. Shut up and drive. I'm hearing that song in my head as you talking right now.
I done played a lot of them. I done played Ludacris, Move, Get Out the Way. I done played Shut Up and Drive. I done played, after a while, it was just like, how do I program myself to be ready to get on these roads? Because for a minute, I was dreading it. And I love to drive.
Yeah.
But I was dreading it. And then something just came to me and said, Keisha, really pay attention. You've got driver's ed training where you went and you were able to not only get the book knowledge, but we had simulators.
Mm-hmm.
And so the driving, and then you had the person that put you behind the wheel and they had a brake on their side, and so you have that training. And you also have defensive driver's training.
Mm-hmm.
And because you have all of these types of different training, as well as the way that you see different patterns, you have a level of understanding behind the wheel that most people don't have. Mm-hmm. I'm okay with that. But I would love for people, when they get over, use your mirrors. That's what they're there for. You got 3 mirrors. You got all these windows.
And your blankets. Please use your daggone blankets. My goodness.
I feel like I committed a problem if I don't put my signal on to change lanes. I don't care how quick I do it. my signal is going to be on so that you know I need this. That's communication on the road.
Yes.
But here, now, and I know there's other states that don't use their signals because I mean, I've driven in Atlanta. Atlanta is one of the places that I do love to drive in the city of Atlanta.
Now, since I would say I like it when it's like at nighttime and there's nobody on the roads and the roads are like open. I've actually done it where I just like I'm on the highway, and but it's a certain.
I don't like to drive fast on an open road.
I do.
I like to do it in traffic. I like to skate in between cars. I love it. I love changing lanes. An open road leaves me too open to be seen because a cop can scan you 3 miles away. And because I know this, I don't have time. Well, so I'm more or less like one of those people who I like to get into traffic, and that's why I like driving in Atlanta. Most people would be like, oh the traffic, but the traffic is always moving fast anyways. You're less likely when it's rush hour traffic in Atlanta to get pulled over by the cops if you're flowing with traffic. But then once you pass them, you flow in and out of traffic. I love changing lanes.
Well, my mindset with me, sis, I would say if I don't look for them, I won't find them. It always works for me.
You feel that way?
It works for me. That's what I'm saying.
Driving to Jersey the other day, I'm talking about now. I've seen cops every. So far, going up to Jersey this last time, they was up each other's butt.
They out like roaches lately. Now
they was out so much. All my GPS kept saying was police, 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 police. I said, oh my gosh! I did the speed limit the whole time. I'm no lie. This is no lie. I sat back and I was like, this is
ridiculous.
I've never seen that many cops out, and they weren't far apart.
Mm-hmm.
They were like one here, one here, one here, one here, one pulled over here, one got somebody pulled over here, one sitting right there waiting to scan you. And if I know that, and they probably gotten better where they can scan you even further, but I know the last time I know it was 3 miles on the straightaway. Yeah. So by the time you see them, they've already clocked you.
Clocked you, yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't even. I was like, y'all go ahead. I'ma just chill in the slow lane.
Well, you don't know which lane is which nowadays. Remember, the lane is anything lane.
I was driving to Jersey, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
there's definitely a slow lane and a medium lane and a fast.
Of course, sis. I mean, we know that, but nowadays people just like, bro, get over there. Get your butt over there.
It's been an experience, but. I have definitely gotten acclimated to it for the most part. I know that I don't really move around too much during rush hour. I'll tell people if I need to come get you or you need a ride or something like that, I'm not coming during rush hour. If I really have to. The only person I'm taking care of is my daughter, and I'm going on about my business.
I have a random question for you, sis, and it came to my mind. My thought, like, go, Speed Racer, go. That's the thought I'm hearing right now. Sis, where you at? You still there? Uh-oh. Keish. I think she froze. Guys, sis, you there? Let me text her. Hold on. I had a question. Oh, yeah. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm gonna have to edit this. I don't know what just happened. I didn't have to edit this. Huh? I don't know what happened. It just, you had froze.
Yeah, I seen it.
I was like, sis, you there? Because what I was gonna ask though, I'm gonna edit that out. Okay, what I had asked though, because I can hear. Have you ever heard that cartoon Speed Racer? Go, Speed Racer.
I heard you.
I was like, so would you ever be a NASCAR? Would you be one of those drivers, like just for like a career?
So, not really NASCAR. It would be more like race car driving on the road, kind of like Fast and Furious.
I got you. Yeah. Okay.
More or
Yeah,
less
I
like
can see that.
because
I
I'm
can
a
see
street
that.
car driver.
I can see that. I can definitely see
Yeah.
that, sis. I can definitely
Yeah.
see that.
Because I asked my daughter, I said, I don't know why I didn't think about doing this before. Because I was watching, what was we watching? I think I was watching Ferrari, some movie. It was like Ferrari and something on Netflix. And I get into movies like that because like when the change in lanes, it seems like it's really hard for people.
Yeah.
To judge the difference between changing lanes without hitting somebody or with being able to slide through traffic and stuff like that.
Right.
It seems like it's difficult for some people, but when I see people do it and it's clean and it's pretty, I get excited. I do. It has been a few cars. Let's see, when I got to Dallas, when I first got to Dallas, I drove through there and there was a car who was sliding through traffic and I was like, oh, that's just so beautiful. Like they was doing it with no hiccups, no stutter, no nothing. I was like, that's how you know that they're in a conscious moment with their car in them. I've seen it. I want to say I've seen it twice, maybe 3 times, but not much.
Maybe that it's just time for us to stop this recording and just talk.
Yeah, we can do an outro.
It's probably time to stop recording this and just let it just.
Spirit said we don't want to talk about your road shenanigans.
I just wanted to know how she like her music when she drives, because I like my music go boom. I like that bass, you know.
So around here, I don't play my music as much. My GPS is usually going because I'm trying to maneuver through. Sometimes I need to know if I'm taking the highway or if I need to get off on an exit, so I'm not playing both. But it just depends on my mood. Nothing slow. I never play anything slow. It's all up tempo, stuff like that. But I listen to a lot of everybody, so it's not just from one area.
No, I'm saying, like, do you like it loud? Do you like your bass?
I turn it all the way up. I'm a 90s. I was in high school in the 90s. We had bass, we had loud, we had.
Hey, my cousins had the same thing, sis. Oh my God, yeah. They would have their bass, and I love it because you know I'm the little cousin. I'm like, I want my bass to be like, and I'm like that now. I like for my shit to rattle. They used to shake the whole house.
I don't like for the tag to rattle. I like a real clean music. I do like the bass, but I don't like for my mirrors to rattle because I need to be able, when I say I drive, I use all my mirrors. I don't need for them to be moving when I'm trying to see what's there.
My cousins were like that.
Yeah, I don't like that. Have I been in that predicament? Yes, but I'm when I drive, I'm fully aware of everything, and I need it to be fully aware for me because I do understand that this is a large piece of equipment, and if I clip somebody or do something wrong, or I need to make sure nobody's coming up on me too quick. I need to be able to move out the way. Here, you got to make sure people ain't getting over and they not looking and that they paying attention. So I'm not just driving for me. I'm driving for everybody around me. I need all my mirrors present.
Supposed to be doing. What about those who have their seats all the way back? And you're like, is somebody in there? Like, how do you drive like that?
What you paused? You got stuck. You said what?
I said when they had a seat all the way back. I'm like, is anybody in there? Like how?
So okay, Les. I can't say I don't drive with my seat back. My seat is most of the time.
It is required.
I know. I've seen it. I know.
All the way back, sis.
That's a late 80s, 90s type of driving, and yes, they can see.
What? I mean, that's an art for me, right?
They don't bother me. It's the people that got their cell phones in their hand that's hitting their brakes every 5 seconds, and you're like, "Why are you braking? Ain't nothing even in front of you." If you put the phone down, it can't be that important because if you're braking and you mess around and you hit something and you flip, that's your fault because you was on your phone. It's those people. I could care less if you flipped all the way back in. You could be laying down. I'm not worried about you. It's
Yeah,
them
I
people
just
who's
said
on their
I,
phone that I'm
I
worried about.
don't know how you guys do that. Maybe you got long ass legs. I don't know, but I literally be like Curious George in that moment, like, oh my God, where they at?
Now it's funny because in my other Honda, that's what they used to say. Your Honda looked like it's driving itself. I used to sit there and be like, it's not though. I'm there.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when we had linked up at Applebee's once, and I already knew which one was you. You had your windows rolled down, you had your poofy afro. I said, yeah, that's sis right there. That's right there.
But yeah, it's the only ones that really scare me are the ones that are always on their phone, and that's like everybody now.
Oh yes. Oh yes. For
As soon
my
as I see them swerving,
yeah.
my daughter's in their window. As soon as I see them braking too much, my daughter's in their window. When we pass them, because I'm not driving behind you, I'm not even staying around you. I'm getting away from you because that phone is going to be the death of you, and it's not going to cause me any harsh problems in my life.
Yeah.
Because my phone, I'll tell people, you can text me, but if I'm driving, if my daughter's not with me, I'm not texting you back until I stop.
All of that. All
Call me.
All of that. I probably won't answer while I'm in the car because I don't.
I will.
I won't because I like to have that moment to myself. It's one of those beautiful moments that I like to have to myself. It's unless it's an emergency.
Back in the 90s, I found out that I could drive a stick, smoke a cigarette, and talk on my phone all at the same time. But I'm not holding it.
Yeah. Not saying anything, but I just don't want.
I drive a stick. I can't hold a phone. I'm working both hands and both feet at the same time. You see what I'm saying? I don't have time to hold a phone.
And begin. Yeah.
You can call me and you're more likely to get me on the phone. But if you text me, you got to wait until I get where I am. I'm not texting and driving.
Yeah.
I don't even like working my GPS when I'm driving.
I don't either. I take care of that before I even start.
Yep.
Make sure you do that before you start. All of that. Yep. So I'm not even doing. Phone goes down. I have everything set before I roll off, and I'm gone.
But I will say that, and I've told this to my daughter. I don't think it's right for certain people to be penalized because they can drive and they can drive faster speeds. I think the best place for some of us is not here in the United States, it's overseas.
Of course.
Because driving overseas is way different than driving here. And especially driving in Sicily, like almost anything goes over there. And as long as you understand what's going on, then you're good. Most people who get in car accidents in Sicily are the Americans because our way of driving is way more structured. Almost too structured at times. And but I told her, I said, I think that people who can move in and out of traffic and who can hold, different speeds should be allowed to do so without being penalized. I get why we get penalized because you're not following the rules.
And you got those who are just not, fast drivers, and they're in all the lanes, and you could have hurt that person, or I can't help they drive slower than me.
No, it's not my fault that they're doing 45 and they're in the fast lane or the passing lane when they're supposed to be in the slow lane. Isn't that a law?
It is.
Isn't that a law that they're breaking?
It is, but it's a law that nobody talks about.
But that's in the left lane. If we're going to talk about it, anything, if there's two lanes, you got the driving lane and you got the passing lane. I don't care if you're doing the speed limit in this lane and I'm going 5 miles faster than you're blocking my way. So why are you not over there? Well, they're doing the speed limit. Well, see, if we were like overseas, over in Europe, then the Autobahn would have a higher speed limit.
Very much so.
That means you would have to really abide by all the rules and not just certain ones. Because they only pull you over for certain things. First, they pull you over for speeding. Then they start looking for your seat belt. Then after your seat belt, they look for anything else around the car that they can add up a bill to.
Yep.
And then they start here, this and this and this and this and this and this. And now your ticket is this long. The Spirit knows how to take care of them, though.
All of that.
I do know that. I know that for a fact. Spirit knows how to take care of them.
All of that. Amongst all of this, because I do like to drive fast at times, I do feel like I have an ancestor that used to be a speed racer or who was a part of the car club. And, I told you this one time, my granddad, I felt his spirit with me and he was just ride, Jack. Just float. So there are times where I do like to get in my car. I hit a certain speed limit. I'm not driving slow. I'm still going pretty fast. But it's more so like I'm floating and I'm riding in my boat and I'm just floating. I'll get in the middle. I don't get in the fast lane. I don't get in the slow lane. I'm just in the middle and I'm just gliding and I like to float at times. So I call
So
those
mine,
moments my moments of floating.
mine is from my father, my biological father, um, who hasn't been living for the longest of time. And um, but I don't hear anybody come to me. It's a
Mm,
feeling I get, but it's every time I get on the highway.
yeah.
It's not certain. I love to drive. I think if I was allowed to drive how I really like to drive, um,
Go speed racer, go.
I have to move out of the country. So I said if I was to ever get rich and was able to buy myself a Lamborghini or a fast sports car, I wouldn't have it here in the United States.
That's fair. Because therefore you
I
can't you can't drive it like you want to here.
No, you're having it. First of all, I mean, why are you buying the car if you're not buying it to drive it to what its capacity could be?
Yeah.
If you're only driving it to floss, I don't care about what other people see. I could care less if you're even looking. It's the fact that I'm behind the wheel of this vehicle that is, that's what's important to me. So if I was to buy a car that was a fast sports car, because I'm not buying anything like a Mercedes. I'm definitely not buying a Tesla, and you won't find me in any of those luxury American vehicles because to me, I don't like cars that stutter.
I love
When I mean, because think about it, in some areas you might get a window that's about this big to be able to get in so that you can get on the road. I don't
Mhm.
need my car to think about it when I hit the gas. I need it to go. I don't need it to be like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna go. No, thank you. I've driven Mercedes. I do like driving BMWs. I'm not gonna lie. BMWs do have a nice speed on them. They have a nice clean ride. Mercedes to me stutters. That's like an old person's car to
Oh,
drive.
Audi before.
Audis,
Audi, I'm country as hell. You
you
heard.
good?
Have you been in one of those before? How do you?
So I have not been in a sports version of an Audi. I like Audis. I like Volkswagens. Um, but I like sticks.
Mm,
So I need three pedals in a shift. I don't want no push button anything. I need first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and reverse. I need those to be able to maneuver. You see what I'm saying? And in the United States, it's only like two or three that they still make.
mhm. Okay.
Um, but yeah, I definitely, if I was to buy any of those cars, one, I would buy it with European specs on it, and I would have it over in Europe. I wouldn't drive it here in the United States.
Since their speed limits is totally different.
Yes, the way they drive and everything, and we're too. You can. So this was always the very first thing that made me know or made me question the fact of our freedom here in the United States. And it was like, if we're free, why are we forced to wear seatbelts? And why are we forced to drive a speed limit? That's the first place that you can see that we're not free. Because freedom means free. You do what doesn't hurt other people. If you don't wear your seatbelt, it's not hurting anybody else. It's going to hurt you. You have to know this. The person who drives fast should know that, if you're not completely doing, and your intuition tells you not to speed, don't. That could be the last breath you take. But cigarettes and alcohol and all of that, we already know that that's going to do something to our body, but our society allows us to do it with no harm. So that's when I started to question the difference between being free and somebody posing their opinions on you and making you live their way.
Makes sense. Make a whole lot of sense. I just got a whole alert message that my internet is now unstable and we are not finna get cut off again. So we're gonna cut this recording off. Okay.
Yeah, let's stop it.
We're gonna cut this recording off. We're gonna continue our conversation after this. But until then, sis, did you have anything?
Now y'all have a great day.
All
And
of
hopefully you got something from what we said and you manifest into this year what it is you want and all the greatness that is available to you.
Ashe, may you have a beautiful year. Until then, find your light and then fix your crown, family. Peace.
We were